Today on the oh fuck. I don't know what happened to myself then, but today on the Tim Marner podcast show, I've got my Instagram friend, soon to become official in live friends, Rob Nathan, singer Rob Nathan. How are you feeling, Rob?
I'm great. It's lovely to be here. I keep leaning over.
It's fine, mate. You can lean over. Maybe put your chair down a little bit if you want.
Shall I?
Yeah, do it.
So do what? Put it down?
Yeah, there's a little lever up right side.
I'm good. No, I'm all right. I feel tall. I'm only 5'6". This makes me feel. Good. This makes me feel on your level, man.
What got you into singing in the first place?
What got me to singing? I've sung since I was like 7 years old. I grew up in a little suburban town called Stanmore, and my sisters used to just play all this music throughout the house, like 80s. You know, it was Duran Duran, it was Spandau Ballet,
yeah.
It was Tears for Fears, and I'd sing to it, and I kind of sang to it in a different way than a lot of other children, and it was incredible. It made me feel empowered. I was quite a shy kid, and it got me a little bit of confidence. Sort of, I moved around schools at a part of my life, and I had a lot of OCD problems, issues like that, and it helped me to make sort of friends and introduce myself to people when I was starting again or being in a new situation as a child. And that's what brought me to it's just opened up a door for me.
Can I talk about, obviously you can say no to me, but can I talk about mental health, mental fitness, mental wellness, however people are framing it these days?
Yeah.
Can I talk to you about that?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I don't know where to start with it, mate, but I know that this is a big thing for both of us,
yeah,
talking about this, and I think it's important that men share these things.
Absolutely.
Can you talk to me more on that, mate?
Yeah, I have a history of mental illness running through the family. My father was mentally ill his entire life. I grew up as a kid. Again, I think the music was a good distraction because I grew up as a kid watching my father break down every day. You know, I'd be 6, 7, 8 watching him not being able to get up to go to work, from crying,
and what was it, Rob? What was it? Depression?
It was depression, but back then it was obviously like a case of there's nothing wrong with you because it's the 80s and you're a mid-40-year-old man and get on with it kind of thing. Get up and go out, and
crazy,
no one could really understand what he was, really going through. And so they stuck him on Valium from the age of like 30 till he eventually passed away at 84. He was addicted to prescription medication, diazepam, for 55 years. So I never really saw my true father because I always saw him in this medded up, state.
How did that affect you?
It affected me more than I realised
at the time.
It affected me when I sort of left home and I started to try and figure out who the hell I was, why I was so angry, why I was so hateful towards people, why I was so, just bitter. I was bitter. I'm not saying I'm completely healed now, but I was bitter. I never realised the anger I had. I mean, I remember being younger, about 30, and I was still at home because at a point I didn't want to leave my mother to a degree with him. And I remember a girl asking me out to go ice skating, and it was a girl that I'd liked for a while, and he swallowed a whole bottle of Valium in front of me, and that was 2000. It was about early 2000s, and I turned around and I said, "I'm sorry, I can't go out. My dad's just swallowed a bottle of Valium, so I'll have to put that." Oh, she didn't call me again. She didn't MSN me again. It was MSN back then, so I never got an MSN back from her after that. I was like, my dad's.
And this is what you've had to sort of like deal with most of your.
Yeah, I dealt with that. My sisters left home quite early, and I didn't realise why. I didn't understand the context of them, like wanting to piss off when they were 18 years old, and they did, because they saw it firsthand. I was a bit more numb to it. I was mummy's boy. I was wrapped up, so I didn't see that side of life. And my sisters left home, got married to the wrong men, had children, and just to get away. And with me, I stayed and stayed and stayed and stayed, and I bear witness to a lot of things maybe you shouldn't see. It wasn't violent. He wasn't a violent man.
It's more psychological.
Never hurt my mum. Yeah, it was not in those ways anyway. It was psychological, and living with that and accepting it as the norm, I think, left me quite unbalanced in terms of who I was. Everything I did by my dad was a pipe dream. You know, you're never going to do that. So when I got on a show at 18 years old, and I was on a show on Sky called Games World. I managed to get on. I bugged the producers long enough, and I got the role of a part that I even wrote myself. It shut him up for a few years, you know. Deep down, it was just an awkward relationship. You know, he wanted me to just get out, get a job, go to work, and I wanted to do other things. I wanted to be a big star, and that to him was a no, because he wanted to design dresses when he was in his teens, and his father threw him in the back of a fish van and went, "No, you're coming to the market with me. Shut the fuck up." Yeah. So it was, you know. Yeah. So for him, it was like, "What are you talking about? You're going to be on TV? You're having a laugh." In the end, he used to drive me up to the studios when I filmed, and the whole music thing was, again, to him, it was like, "What are you doing?" So I got a job, and I got, you know, and then I got married and had children, and that was the life that he, not because he wanted me to, but it was the life I had, and but it was hard, and I think it left me. I think with my father, he should have been diagnosed better. He should have been cared for better by. But again, it was the 80s and 90s, and mental health wasn't a thing. Yeah. You weren't really talking about it. You were just shoved pills. Yeah. And he was that, and I've never taken an antidepressant in my life because of him. And as raw as I feel sometimes, and as screwed up as I feel sometimes, I can't allow myself to take a Valium, as they call them, because that's the same path, isn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah. What do you do for your sort of like mental wellness, your mental fitness? Do you some days are better than others? How do you?
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, I'm only saying this because, like, you know, when you're good, you're good, aren't you? You know, I'll talk about like when you're doing your wink to camera and stuff. I just love that about you. You've got this lovely cheeky side about you, but
yes.
I'm sure there's another side that you know, sort of like numbs that and doesn't let you do that.
It's the beginning of this month, April. I sat down in a chair, and I remember thinking to myself, can't do any of this, can't live, feel normal. It was probably 2-3 weeks ago. I just had I had nothing. So I said to my wife, I said, I can't move, I can't do anything, I can't function today with the children, with anything, with work, because I run a recruitment company. Yeah. And I thought, how am I going to get out of this hole? But yeah, it lifts, your mood lifts, your children need you. You've got to pick up your daughter from preschool. You've got to talk to your son's teacher about his 25th detention of the term so far. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
Josh, yeah, he's what a kid. And then you realise that people need you. You've got to take your mum shopping. She can't get about very good. You've got to your 4-year-old needs you to play Tamagotchi. And
do you talk about to anybody else? Do you see a counsellor or anything? Do you talk to your wife about this kind of thing? Am I just putting it out in the open here?
It's fine. Yeah, I talk to my wife. My wife knows I'm
right.
My wife has depression. She has mental illness in her family. So we're two prime people to raise two kids.
But examples, mate, of, you know what I mean? It's just talking about it and getting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, we do our best every day for the children, and I do tell her, and I do tell her I feel low. She knows when I feel low. But there's not a lot she feels she can do for me, because she knows I'll be okay. She knows I'm strong mentally, as well as being mentally. I wouldn't say I'm mentally weak, not after what I've been through. Yeah. But I'm susceptible to very dark clouds, very dark moments. Not suicidal thoughts, nothing like that. Just sheer moments where
Like
I cannot function.
Right.
And I hit.
How do they come then, Rob? What's the...
Wake up and feel like
Really?
absolute shit. Yeah. Or I can wake up and clean the entire house and feel incredible. Go and do a song, put it out, and work on my music and feel great. But again, life doesn't allow me to get too down because, as I say, as a recruitment owner, I can have staff that haven't turned up. So the client could call me at 7 a.m. and go, "Where's your guy? He's not here." And then I've got to think quickly to try and replace that guy with another guy. There's no time to be depressed, really. But because work is so quiet at the moment, after COVID, I lost so many big contracts, which allowed me to do my music and try and start a second career. I feel like sometimes at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting there like that. And I'm slumped down and I'm like, how am I going to get out of this chair? Or the other week, I went to Tesco to pick up some bread for my missus and I went, I can't get out of the car. I said, I've been in here for 20 minutes, I can't come in. And she was like, it'll be all right. And I said, okay. And I think my son...
How did you do that from feeling like that in the car to getting out? How do you get out of something like that?
I just think of my kids, or I think of...
Use that as a tool.
I remember thinking to myself, I really wish my son would come to the door. He's only 11, he's 12 on Saturday, but I just thought I wish he'd just come to the door so I could see him, so I could find the motivation to get up and get out, and so that he's like, hey Dad, where's my beef jerky? And I'm like, all right, I'm here, and that's it. So, but I think he was upstairs playing on his PC. I didn't want to text him and go, son, I feel really low. Can you come to the door, please? Do
you have that relationship with Josh that you can talk to him like that?
Yeah, I do.
That's mint, that, mate.
I do.
That is mint.
I can say to him...
Because you don't want to do the same thing as your dad and what happens to you and your dad and you're not having that connection with him when you can't talk to him like that. I think that's incredible, mate.
I speak to him in regards to how the business is doing, how we are, and I always say to him, no matter what happens, you'll always have the house, you'll always have a roof, you'll always eat. If I talk to you about finances or the business isn't doing well, you shouldn't worry about anything because it's going to be okay. Yeah. But I tell you these things to make you understand that sometimes I'm stressed, sometimes I'm miserable, and I can't always be the way I am. I can't always watch you play your video game or do the things we do just because I've got that in that moment. I'm just thinking about how I'm going to keep a roof, but never ever worry because we'll always be safe and here. I got myself into a position where I started a business and it did incredibly well for the first 2 years, and I got very lucky, and I worked hard, but I got lucky and I ended up making thousands and thousands of pounds that I'd never had in my life. I'd always worked the same job in a call centre for 25 grand a year, going from shitty job to job.
So have you not set up a recruitment company? Is that what the job was?
No, I never worked for recruitment until sort of 2012. But before that time, all I'd ever done is go from job managing a team of 20 on an O2 contract, or managing a team of 20 on a Unilever contract, and listening to their calls and speaking to customers, escalated complaints. And I thought that's what my whole life was. That was my whole life, just sitting in a call centre,
putting out fires.
Yeah, putting out fires, sitting in a call centre, earning my £1,700 a month, going home and existing, and then when I found recruitment and it came good, I spent a few years being mentored by my old boss, who did very well for himself, and he gave, I left and I started my business, and my clients liked me, they resonated and they gravitated towards me, so they said, well, wherever you go, Rob, we'll come. So with that, I started a company called Red Giant. It's driving recruitment, so my guys go and just drive for different contracts all over the capital, and we did incredible, and all of a sudden I had money, so I bought the car, didn't I? Bought the Porsche, I bought the bigger house, and I thought this is it. And when I should have sold it, because entrepreneurs, they start something, they say, but what did I do? I stuck it. I sat there
because you were comfortable.
I was comfortable. And COVID hit me, the world, and it wiped me, 70% out of my...
70?
Well, I had I'd say.
What recruitment is it? Drivers?
Yeah, literally, I recruit guys, they go in, they can drive for all different.
Forklifts.
Say I've got 17, 18 different contracts.
Yeah.
They could deliver ice. They could be delivering paint. They could be delivering meat. Depends where I'm sending them.
Right.
So all these companies are signed up with me, and a lot of pressure. 4 a.m. Where's your driver? Well, is he not there? Phone the driver. Phone switched off.
Right.
I've had 10 years of that.
Right.
So that's
brutal,
that's stress. That's like
Yeah.
I had a contract, very big.
Because most of these are driving through in the morning, aren't they? At night.
Yeah, some of them. But what happens is, as you get larger, you have to then recruit more people that you don't know. You know, and all of a sudden you've got 15 guys that you know. Then you need 25 guys. You know, and then you hire in a bunch of new people. Yeah, Rob, don't worry, I'll turn up for you in the morning, no problem. Fill out all the forms. They give you all the reassurance. You know, they're there. And
with having the under sort of like lying mental sort of like fitness that you've got, with that on top of it, does it affect it, or can you sort of like compartmentalise that where it's just like it doesn't affect you to your core?
It doesn't no, it doesn't. The anxiety I used to feel about people not turning up isn't with me anymore. I've grown mentally not to be going to bed at midnight looking at the phone at 5, 6 in the morning thinking, oh my God, I don't actually do that much in mainly because I haven't got the work anymore. So it's like we've only got like 20 guys out instead of 40 or 50 now, and most of those guys I've known for 4 or 5 years. They've worked with me for so long, and it's very rare we get someone that lets you down, but that's what the culture is, and that's what it's been. Anyway, when COVID hit me, I lost a contract worth 350,000 a year.
Wow.
And it took it wiped me out. I had to start again. And
what happened in that moment, mate? Where did your head go to? How?
My head was okay. I was just like, oh, furlough. Okay, all right. I'll just sit here. Sit here for a while. I'll just relax. I'll do something else. I'll do something. And at that point, I started to think more about me and what I have, what
you had time to reflect in that moment.
Yeah, and then Dad got sick. You know, Dad was getting sicker. So from 2020 to 2021, you know, he was getting worse, and then obviously he passed in March 2021. So was dealing with that and dealing with my mum, and again, very busy time to be like sitting around moping. So I just got on with that. Red Giant there was no work because everyone said we'd furloughed, and you know, we took a mortgage break. So nothing was too bad. It was okay, and we got by it. And then slowly I built the business back up to what it is now, which is like week to week. Some weeks are bad, some weeks are okay. All my stuff is ad hoc now. I used to have those contracts where you'd have the same guys in every day, week after week after week. So you knew you'd be making a couple of grand gross profit before you'd even started the week. Now it's not like that. If a branch here use you, the week after they're like, we don't need you next week, our guy's coming back off holiday. So it's like you can have a great week and then it can be brutal. And that's currently what's going on. It's been like that for a while. So, and although I'm still bringing clients on and phoning and being the salesman, out of 17 odd clients, maybe 5 will use you in a week, you know. It's not. You can sign up clients to you blue in the face. Doesn't mean they're going to use you.
So you're doing everything yourself? Have you always done everything yourself?
No,
sales and all that. You had people working for you.
I've had people working for me. Yeah, we built up to a team of 3 at one point. Obviously, I wanted to make it into a bigger business, but COVID hit me hard, and then it hasn't been viable for me unless I had an investment to redo it and have staff working for me. So I'm the tea guy, I'm the sales guy, I'm the guy that books the drivers, I'm the guy that registers the drivers, I'm the guy that talks to the client, I'm everything. So that whole process is on me as well.
And do you want to build Red Giant up to where it was before? Or is it have you now sort of rediscovered who Rob is?
I don't.
Right.
Yeah. There's more to life. So from my metamorphosis as a call center guy to entrepreneurial recruitment guy, I'm ready for the next phase of my life. Okay, so that was me. That was the office work, and then it was the working from home guy. Do what he wants. Doesn't answer to anyone.
Yeah.
Go out shopping if I want. I can take calls. I can go to New York. I was doing I was doing £6,000 a week. I was in New York. I was sitting in Times Square. I was thinking, this is amazing. I'm running this business. I can run this business on the toilet. It was wonderful. So that's how it was. But now I feel that the business has something. It has something because we got through COVID. It survived. A lot of businesses didn't. Yeah. We've done higher numbers since COVID. So say we did we did a turnover of like 800 grand, and then COVID we did a 250 grand year, and then pre-COVID we've done 500, and then we're doing 650. And it shows an investor now. It can go, oh well, there's value here. There is value. So I'd like to be in a position to
get investment or exit.
I'd like to exit. Yeah. I'd like to exit for the right price. It's not worth £1 million, but it's worth some decent money. It would bring some value to another recruitment company that might want a transport leg. There might be a business out there that wants a transport part of their business. They haven't got that yet. So that's what I'm looking to do. And while I do that, and while I continue to run the business and look for the right buyer, investor, whatever we want to do, because I may have to stay on because I'm still the face. Those clients want me, they like me. The music will be my next transformation into, when someone says to me, well,
has it always been the way? The music's always been the calling?
No, well, I was always a singer. I was always a writer. I was an actor, as you know. I did the TV shows, so I've always been performing in some way. But I didn't sing or pick up a microphone for 16 years between the times of between 2007 until 2022.
But was it always in the back of your mind?
Yeah,
is it always been niggling away?
I wrote a song, Tim, that. Let me tell you a quick story.
Yeah, go on. I
was in a call centre and I was writing songs, and I was going to my producer in Ladbroke Grove in West London. I was 22, I was this hopeful young man, and I wrote a song called Now That I Found You, it was called. It was a soppy love song, about my first girlfriend, something like that. And I will tell you off camera who this person is, but I sat next to another gentleman, and he was a singer, and he said, oh, we should swap tapes, mix tapes, get some ideas off each other. So I said, yeah, okay. So I gave him my tape with this song on it, amongst some other bits and bobs, and didn't think anything of it. Wait for it. Mm-hmm. A few years later, in the early 2000s, a song came out, and very good. It did very well. It was on YouTube. It was being used at arenas and events. UFC would play it a lot. And it did well, 10 million views, YouTube. And I listened to it and I thought, that part is mine. That's my song. That's Now That I Found You. That little interpolation he does there towards the bridge, that's my fucking song. Back then, when we were young and stupid, we didn't copyright anything. We didn't. Everyone used to go, send it to yourself, and the stamp on it will make it your. It makes it. And you're like, yeah. And I did that maybe a few times, but this was around 2010. The song is probably he did well. He went on to write songs for Mariah Carey, and that song blew him up. And actually wasn't that bitter about it. It just made me realise, number one, don't be a dick and share your work like that when you're working on stuff. And number two, my songs are good enough to go worldwide. But then I stopped for quite a long time because I was just not in
that headspace.
I wasn't in that headspace at all. My first son had been born, my only son. I was busy being a dad and just trying to provide. But he did well. Yeah, he did well, and it's just one of life's moments where you think, wow.
I mean,
thanks, mate.
Like you said, mate, you can't get bitter about it. Have you? You just got to take ownership of it, that you shouldn't give it to him, and then you go, look, if it has gone like that, then what else have I got? What else am I capable of doing?
Well, there's so much in my locker that it didn't matter to me. I wrote a song in 2003 that is is what I'm gonna rejig it. Or this is not my lead single, which is coming out, but it's such a good beat and good song that, you know, it's better than what I gave him. You know, you've got to believe in yourself. I didn't do anything with the music I wrote. I wrote this song, and honest to God, it would be in any chart in any country. And I know that sounds arrogant. I could sit here and tell you that I can write a song better than Ed Sheeran. And people would say, what are you talking about? Are you mental? I'm like, no, I'm not. I can, and I will, and I'll show you. But you can't have that sort of mentality around everybody. They laugh their asses off. Yeah. And you can, but I'm positive, and I know I can, because I know what I'm doing. Yeah. I mean, this song, it will come out, and when I was making music back then, there was no audience. You could put it on MySpace, but I didn't have an audience. See, I've got an audience now. My Instagram has grown to that level that I've got a proper audience. And now that I'm starting this process again, I have a not a fan base. I don't like that word. I have listeners. Yeah. You know, and it's a different game now. But
what is the thing? What have you got in your head? What's your goal now then? What goal have you set for yourself?
I haven't got a established goal in terms of I want to be
you want to become an artist? Yeah. A known artist?
Possibly. Right. It depends how it happens for me. I've just written a song. It comes out. It's not a plug. It comes out on this Sunday. I don't expect it to come out and blow up straight away. Yeah. But I expect when people hear it, they will want to hear it again.
And where are you putting it out when you put it out?
It's going on all the usual stuff, Spotify, you know, 100,000 songs uploaded on that platform a day. Yeah. You know, so how are you going to get it heard? Well, I'm going to have to work my arse off. I'm going to have to sell it to radio stations.
You've got that credentials, though, with your sales background, knowing how to...
Yes, I have. But the goal for me isn't essentially being I don't have to be an artist if I don't want to be. I'm older now. It's the industry isn't as ageist as it was. I remember having a management meeting with two fellas that wanted me to sign me up, and they went, the problem with you, Rob, is you're 29. And I sat there, I was almost choked on my chicken Caesar salad, and I was like, right. And they were serious. They were like, we've got a guy called Marcus and he's 23. This is the problem, Rob. You know, this is the problem. And at 29, I looked probably 20, you know, honest to God. And they were like, and they were really like pained over it because they were talking to a 29-year-old. And the industry was like that. It was never, they wouldn't ask, how old is he? They'd ask, how young is he? That was the key question in the music industry back then. Oh, how young is he? You know, they want 17-year-olds, they want 18-year-olds, they want, you know. But it's not like that now. But I would turn around to you and I'd say, I'm not overly worried if I'm an artist or not. My stuff can go into movie soundtracks, I'll be happy. My stuff can be used on adverts, or, well, maybe not adverts, but TV shows, movie soundtracks.
So that's the kind of thing you see with your...
Yeah, and plus, I'd like to have the individual freedom to do what I like, because that's the life I live now. So what's stopping me getting my Patreon going? Now, my Instagram is on, 11,000 plus subs at the moment. It's not great. I've only done it a year. Say I get to 20, next year this year I get 20,000 subs. Even if 10% of those people sign up to pay $3, $3 a month, that's a living.
Yeah, it's a living.
So when people turn around to me and go, well, how can you do music as a career? They don't understand that I have people that genuinely want to hear me and listen to me.
You know how to run it as a business, you see.
That's right.
That's the difference.
That's right. I can brand it. I'm a brand now. I can make Rob J Nathan a brand. Yeah. From the logo or the YouTube logo band. I've only just started doing YouTube. And I was in my comfort zone again on Instagram. I got very popular in South America, Argentina, Brazil. I've got a media manager in Brazil.
I'm going to say your sound's got that kind of feel, hasn't it? Thinking about
the thing is, I've got a lady who was an elite fashion model all over the world: Tokyo, Paris, London, New York, and she heard my work and she wanted to we befriended each other. So my new song, Dancer, has been used on her cruise her fashion shows. I allowed her to preview it, and it was a really good experience. She loves the song, and she's become sort of my media manager in Brazil because I have a fan base there.
Yeah.
So because I'm not very well known in the UK or at the moment, or if I ever am, I thought, well, let's go after the audience that do enjoy me. Now, because I was in that comfort zone, releasing songs, making covers every week, I'm singing covers, I'm doing covers all the time. I'm getting all these people, I'm having to learn Brazilian and Spanish phrases so I can thank them all and, understand what they're saying. Then all of a sudden I switched to YouTube just because I wanted a broader audience, and that's a different animal. You expose yourself to more English people. All of a sudden there's people going, you sound like a fucking cat.
Mate, someone told me, I hope you get cancer and die.
Oh, lovely.
On mine. I'm just like, cheers, mate.
Any particular video that was? Or?
I can't remember.
Right, okay. Well, that's nice.
They're just ruthless. But it's like you've just got to get into an headspace that it just doesn't bother you. You can't control what people say, but you can control how you react to those things. Like, whatever, mate. You must be in such a dark place to say something like that.
I find this. I'm not trying to diss the UK, although there's not a lot to love about it right now. But I find the culture there's so much hatred.
Yeah.
When you're successful or you're trying to do something successful, they want to pin you down.
Yeah.
They hate you. People hate winners here.
Yeah.
They hate winners. And I'll give you a really quick example. I'm a big sports fan. So in the 80s, right, Steve Davis was winning everything. Every snooker tournament, they hated him. Boring, Steve Boring Davis, they called him. Won 6 world titles. Oh, he never misses a pot. Yeah. He's this. They hate him. When he started to show a bit of fragility, and Hendry came along, knocked him off his perch, and he looked vulnerable. Everyone loved him. All of a sudden, Steve Davis was, they would love him they want him to win one more time. That's how. But because he showed the frailties, people felt that they could relate to him because he was a loser all of a sudden and not a winner. And on the flip side, you've got Frank Bruno, who was always the lovable loser that never won a world title, and everybody loved Frank. The minute he won a world title, everyone jumped on his back and he got mentally ill. So, because they hated the fact that he'd achieved his dream. He wasn't a loser anymore. He wasn't lovable Frank. He was world champion Frank, making millions and millions of pounds fighting Mike Tyson. All of a sudden, people started the hatred. And that's how I feel. If you try to elevate yourself, even people close to me, they see in what I'm doing, they don't like it.
Yeah.
They don't like it.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get out of that rat race, because I'm trying to elevate myself and go, hey world, I'm a singer, I'm a writer, this is who I truly am. All of a sudden everybody, and they're like, oh, well, couldn't he have just stayed doing recruitment or in his call centre? Because now my life feels a little bit boring, and I don't like this. This is making me uncomfortable.
You're putting a spotlight on my unmet needs, and I don't want to.
And all of a sudden they look at themselves and they go, fuck that guy. And I don't swear often on, I know, but it's like, wow, I can't believe people that I thought were either mates or I was close to can be such a bitch over the fact that I'm just opening my mouth and trying to entertain people, and people writing to me, thank you for your song, your voice makes me feel better, you're singing a song that takes me back to my youth.
It is meant.
And they're like, I haven't heard this one for so long. You sang it lovely. And then you've got the ones closer to home going,
who does he think he is?
I hope he doesn't upload anymore. I hope he stops this facade. Well, this isn't a facade. This is me. And then I wanted to write the song because I thought once I get to a certain amount of people, I'm gonna write my music because writing is what I love. So, and that's where we are.
How many songs have you got written?
Well, there's 8 or 9 that I've written. 5 or 6 would need to be re-recorded because they're 2004, 2005, and then I stopped. So the production is old and they sound a little bit.
So you've got some nuggets there. You just need to
Got some nuggets. Lovely. I'll send you.
I'll 1,000,000%.
I'll send you one that I think you'll really, really love.
So what is your sort of like style then, Rob, of writing? Is it more sort of tragic love, sort of romantic?
the song I've written
Yeah.
that's coming out, Dancer, it's about a relationship that's gone a little bit stale.
Yeah.
Because of life's distractions.
Yeah.
So two people can fall in love.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen with people, and and they fall madly in love, and they spend every day together. They do everything, and then a high-powered job can get in the way. The children can get in the way, and all of a sudden you don't see that person as you're not those people anymore. You're the kids' parents.
Yeah, when you first saw them.
So there's like there's a whole galaxy between the pair of you now.
Yeah.
You hardly talk to each other. You pass each other on the stairs. You don't look at each other the same way.
Yeah.
And this song, Dancer, it's about just taking a moment out to go, wow, if we could just find that magic again, that spark, if you could just be my dancer, just be that person again, I knew we could save this, we can do this. So the song is very abstract in the fact that it talks about galaxies, stars being apart, being so far away, and that's how I wrote it. I wrote it like a song in space about you're so far away, because those are the lyrics, and I'm still searching for the dancer, the girl that I used to know that lit up a room, but now you've got all of these things going on, and I don't see that person anymore. I can't see you. So that song's a little bit tragic, but it's also it gives a modicum of hope that.
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, I think that's. I don't know you that well, but I feel that is you, isn't there? There's a lot of darkness, but always within that darkness is that beautiful bit of hope.
Yeah.
And I love art that sort of like symbolise that. A lot of my photography and stuff always symbolise that. There's a lot of darkness and edginess, but there's always one beautiful, just bit of hope and ray of sunshine and light that'll always see you through.
Like Tupac wrote that poem, "A Rose That Grew Out of Concrete."
Yeah.
That little bit of hope from all the crap and all the stuff
crap,
that's gone on,
yeah.
it still grew from out of the cracks.
Yeah.
And I think that's symbolic of guys like you and me that can rise above a lot of what we've been through. Because
it just comes from adversity, mate, doesn't it? And coming through crap and doing that and going through COVID and all these stresses, anxiety of what the world and always no matter what, you've always got to have hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your son coming to the door, that little bit of hope gets you out of that car.
Yeah.
It's so powerful, mate. Isn't it?
And my daughter as well. She's 4. She's both of my kids are they have high functioning autism. They are incredible. And Isla, my daughter, she's the sunshine. And again, she's the subject of a song because she can make me. She gets me out of that bubble. She'll get me out of that moment of despair because the innocence that she portrays is just magic. It's magic. But but my whole thing, my whole mantra is, no matter how old you are, I'm sitting here, I'm 46. I'm ready to start the next phase of my life as a singer, and just whoever's out there that needs to hear it. I'm not no life coach, but just don't throw it away if you've got anything, if you're good with art, if you're good with songs, if you're good with putting an engine together and you don't think you're ever going to be able to do it again, you can't give it up, because Dad passing really just made me realise how short everything is, and how little time it. Look back, I'll be 60 before you know it, and then I'll be kind of too much, to be rocking and rolling and shaking my hips. My hips are so bad. They are so bad. But that's my whole mantra. It's like everyone that listens to me comes onto my page. I want them to know, do not give this shit up, because you can do whatever you want. And like you always say, don't let other people's opinions.
No. It's my biggest thing at the minute, mate, that I'm talking about. It's I did a social media training day with some girls down in a hair salon. And the conversation just started for the first 2 hours about how they were scared of putting themselves out there. They were beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, you're going to not do it because of what other people think. And I'm just like, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Knowing that these are what these, young guns are going through.
That's right, and it's harder. It's usually the fact that they're worried about the people closer to home, because strangers generally are quite supportive.
Yeah.
It's usually you can't break out of, oh my God, what's this person going to think of me, and what's that person? What's my mother going to think? Not my mother. She's very supportive, but that is usually what it is. It's I guess it's like maybe sometimes coming out. As well, you're so worried what your parents or the ones close to you are going to think before you think about anybody else. Yeah. Because strangers usually are quite accepting, and they don't know you. They haven't lived. They don't know you. They're seeing you for the first time. But it's usually the people that are closest that you're so worried about. And that was the hardest part for me. Starting that first George Michael cover. 18,
how long ago was that?
Oh, Feb 22.
Right.
Not long ago, and that was the first.
The covers are mint, mate. I love the covers. I do, honestly, mate. I do love the covers. Mate, I'd love that. So please, the covers are mint. The covers are mint.
I just.
If you were going to do one for me, I know it's a really random. It's Seal Kiss from a Rose.
Done it.
I said, have you already done that?
Yeah.
I've not seen that one.
I'll tag it for you. Well, I do so many. Tag
me in.
I have done that. I have done that, and it's. I've done
it's such a good way, mate, so people find out about you and stuff, and then get fall in love with you, and then when you do bring your stuff out, then they get really engaged in that as well.
Yeah, I want them to know where I've come from and who I am.
But the Duran Duran just suits you down with to a treat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All that 80s.
80s is everything to me. It's when I grow up, and it's. I think so many people now love that era, which is why that music, synthwave, is so popular now. It's so popular because they're hearing new music which still sounds familiar like it was back then. Yeah. So synthwave has become a massive thing, and there are artists out there specifically targeting an audience that love the 80s. But yeah, it's lovely to sing Wham, and it's lovely to sing. But I want to do, and I carry that. Some people go, "Oh, you kind of sound like George Michael a little bit, and you kind of sound like Phil Collins." And you say it's like I'm rolled up into all of these people because they've influenced me. Like Terence Trent D'Arby for me was a massive inspiration in the 80s. When I first heard him sing "Wishing Well" and "If You Let Me Stay," those songs in 1987, he taught me how to sing. It was people like Michael Jackson, and it was that guy that taught me how to sing. He was unbelievable, and I haven't covered any of his stuff yet. But
is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, maybe one or two. But again, I'm happy to be a cover guy. But I want my stuff to be out there just so people can hear it, and if they like it, they love it. It goes great. Then fantastic.
You just intersperse it with the cover stuff, don't you?
Yeah, it's like I'm not going to release this single then go, that's it, I'm not doing any more covers.
Yeah.
Because people love familiarity.
Yeah, they love it, mate.
They love it.
If you get up in the morning just like listen to one of your tunes.
Getting up, seeing me on the feed.
What was the tune called from Back to the Future, the first one you were listening to use? Yeah. Have you done that?
Bloody hard to sing.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a real... Yeah, I've done a couple of rough cuts, and I've gone, I'm not sure if I like that. Because obviously what I do is I do it in I do a take, and then I look back at it and I think, you're a little... But probably people would think it was fine, but it's me, it's my...
Perfectionism.
I'm like, I can't, if I'm one note funny, I'll watch it back and it'll bug me. And I'd be like, I bet people can hear that. I wonder if I've only got 500 likes because of that. And that's another thing. You start off and you think, if I can get 100 likes, that would be amazing. And because when you're first starting out, people put up pictures of what they eat for breakfast and they get 6 likes, and I just think, what, that's what they want to get out of social media. But me, I was like, when I got my first 100 likes on a song, I was like, oh, this is incredible. Now, if I haven't had 100 likes in an hour, I start freaking out. Yeah. That's the problem with social media, because you're then you're sitting, you're trying not to sit there all. People can admit they can bullshit all they like, but when they put out a post, they're looking at it to see who's watching it. And if I haven't had 100 likes in an hour, I'm thinking, people aren't enjoying this. Right. I didn't sing good enough. I picked the wrong song. Right,
so you attach that to people not liking the song. You're not good enough.
No, I don't attach it to me not being good enough, but I attach it to the fact that
people don't
I've either picked the wrong song, but then the algorithm can screw you anyway.
Yeah, of course it can.
I mean, Madonna has 5 million odd followers, but she'll put out a post, she might only get 10,000 likes. That's nothing, that's a tiny percentage. So you can't beat yourself up too much, but don't let people tell you that they're not watching their likes and they're because they are, and that's how you judge whether or not you're decent. On the flip side of that, there could be a situation where, as I say, the algorithm is everything. Everyone wants to go viral. Try to stop thinking about going viral. But then I can spend an hour, 2 hours doing a piece of content, making a really good song, making a new video, doing everything, making it look great. And you go on TikTok and you've got 30 likes and someone's just recording their mentally ill neighbour shouting at them across the fence, and that's got 100,000. And you think that's the culture you're dealing with. Or a girl or a bloke that's got their pecs out and they're jiggling about, and it's 500,000 likes, and you've got 4, and you think, am I too old for this? Has this passed me by? You can drive yourself mental.
Yeah, of course you can. You just can't do that. You just keep doing another video. You just keep doing another video. Just keep showing up. You know what I mean? It's like, as I say to a lot of people, it's like when all the motivational quotes have run out and stuff like that, what are you going to do now? Right? It's called discipline. And what you do is you keep turning up every day and you just keep fucking doing it. You just keep 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 doing it. And you don't fucking stop.
You're right.
If you love it, if you truly love what you do not stop.
You're right. Because every day, once I've done the Instagram post, then in the morning I do a YouTube short, upload it, then I do a Facebook reel. I get so confused. Facebook reel, YouTube short, Instagram reel. Yeah. And I'm staying consistent now. And every day I get 2 or 3 more subs. 2 or 3 more subscribers.
Just keep doing it, Rob.
And I want to, I put up a post last night and I just said to my audience, I said, what if I just keep practicing being until I get so good I can't be ignored anymore. Yeah. And that's all. That's
literally it.
That's it.
Yeah.
If I release this song and it's really good, you can have every music coach in the world. Have you seen these guys? I don't know how long we've got, by the way. So have you seen these guys that tell you how to promote your music?
No.
It's a massive money maker.
Right, okay.
Right?
Well, I can imagine it is.
The top guy, I won't name names, but he's very good. He's very successful, multi-millionaire, retired long ago. He's my age. And people base their model on him. And it's like, I can show you how to increase your social media. I can show you how to get 1 million streams on Spotify. I can show you how to get 1,000 new fans every month. And they want you to sign up with them, pay them a couple of grand a month, and they'll help you with your social media. They'll help you with a 28-day plan to release your single. There are artists signing up for this everywhere. And I did it for 1 month to see what it was all about, and then I've come out of it. And the culture is poisonous. It's poisonous. And all it is these people want to make money off of artists. Now, if every artist did this and they were all successful, it's never going to happen. Most of the guys that are signing up are musicians. What if the song's crap? What if you haven't really gone through the right channels to...
If you've not put the time in.
What if your song's rubbish? Do you think you're going to do all this thing that your manager said and it's going to go viral? Your song's not good enough. My song's good enough. So what if I do things differently to everybody else? What if my song's good enough and I'll go, there, it's out there now, listen to it if you want. It doesn't say I won't push it or I won't try, but what if I don't spam you in the face every day with it? It's coming out Sunday, 3 hours left, 2 hours left, 1 hour. That's what they're all doing. And they're all getting up, they're all sitting there with the guitar and they're walking through a street or that, and they're all doing the same thing. I'm going to do myself now on a bus doing it. I'm going to do myself walking through Carnaby Street doing it. And I'm sorry to anybody that I've offended, because I know people that have done that. But they're all doing the same thing because they've listened to
They've all got the same trend list that they're doing.
So they've listened to these...
So they're becoming exactly the same as everybody else.
That's right. So they've listened to these music moguls that have told them how to do it and how to build your base and how to build... They're still sitting on 900 followers. Their music comes out, Spotify, they've got 100 streams in a month, 200 streams in a month, 500 streams in a month, and they're not going anywhere, and they get down, they get depressed, they don't know what to do. They either give up or they go, I'm going to do a new single now. So within the space of 2 weeks that their single's been out, my new one's coming out. They just reel them off like it's candy on a conveyor belt. No. My song is special. If I don't give you another song in 6 months, that's up to me. That's because I've worked hard, but they're like, no, you've got to cultivate your audience. You've got to keep them going. You've got to keep them on a string. You've got to give them merch. You've got to give them T-shirts. You've got to give them key rings. You've got to give them the acoustic version of your single. You've then got to give them your next single. Within 6 weeks, get your next single out. No, because what you're doing is people. it's a swipe culture now. If someone doesn't like your song within 4 to 7 seconds, they're going to click straight away and get rid of you. If my song can't captivate that person in 4 seconds, I haven't done my job. And these songs, they strum the guitar. Someone's gone like that already. You're done. So the culture is so killer now. What if I just release this one song and go, you know what, for 6 months, I'm just going to go back to singing covers. If you like this song, great. I'm not going to feel pressure from this industry, from what these people are doing to artists. Very because every artist is doing this now. And they're all following the same pattern. I can't do it. So
that's mint, that, mate.
So I'm just saying, if there's any artist out there and you believe in your song and it's good enough and you've written a great piece of music, believe in yourself. It doesn't mean you have to spend every single day spamming your fan base about your song, because it will find its way to the top. It will. You just got to believe it.
Is this not something that maybe in the future that you could do, is help other artists out? Get the music out there and do it differently. You know what I mean? It's just education and knowledge, mate, isn't it, really?
I'd like to be in a genuine position of power if I was to do that, and had credentials behind me saying, this is Rob Nathan, his song went on to be in this movie, and now I've got a record label and I'm going to sign you to this label and I'm going to help you that way. I'm not going to be like, well, give me £2,500, which is somewhat a conversation I've had with someone about 6 months ago. You give me £2,700, Rob, and for 6 months I'll work with you. We'll work on your social media. We'll work on your Instagram. We'll work on this and that and that. So I said, they're
basically saying the same thing to everybody else, giving them the same fucking strategy.
Yeah, we did a video call together, and I said, so and so. I said, so £2,700. I said, yeah, for 6 months or however long. I think it was less than that. She said, yeah. I said, so what if it doesn't go well? What if I'm not happy with what you do? I said, you've still earned your money. I said, I'd rather work in an organic way with you, where, we work on something together, and if I get successful and make money from it, you make money from it. Oh, she went, you sounds like you need a man. You're just after a manager then. And that was her attitude. She was, because she knew I wasn't going to pay her £2,700 just so that she could do a usual thing.
She just wanted to move on to the next person.
Yeah, but I've worked with this person and that person. Well, that's great, and I'm sure you have. But I don't have that money right now, and I'd rather, use that money to work on my song and work on my budget. And I was like, well, yeah, you can't, regardless of how well I do, you're still earning that money off me. She went, and that was that. So those people are out there, and they need to make a living. And I think if you look at the big picture, you'll realise that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to pay their bills on the back of your, talent. As I say, I think there's two things that resonate with people what I do. And the first one is I'm a live singer. I sing live into a mic. There's no auto-tune. You hear 80% of this stuff on social media. It's all going through those filters where they sound like they're robots, and some of it is just auto-tuned so much you can't even distinguish a human voice. That's the first thing. I'm live, my vocal is raw. And second of all, I sing songs that people enjoy and remember. And that's why I've tried to keep it real, as a just a real enjoyable page that people, and oh wow, he's singing the Rocky soundtrack. I did that one, and it was like, it did really well. And it's just sing raw, be natural, and people you'll resonate with. You'll resonate with people. I'm just a normal guy singing in his room. People write to me, I can't believe you wrote back to me. I said, why? I can't believe you've written back to me. Why not? Because people don't, it's not nice. I try to reply to everyone, and I look at other artists, And I see they don't even heart it. They can't even give a reply as a heart because they're too wrapped up in themselves. And these people have given me a voice, especially the people of Brazil, as I said, Argentina. They've given me a voice. The least I can do is say obrigado or muchas gracias, or to make them feel nice. They've made me feel incredible. So,
where can people find you, Rob? Where can people find you? What's your Instagram handle?
Instagram is Rob J Nathan Sings, and that is where I am. Again, I didn't want to call it Rob J Nathan Music because everybody puts music after their name. So I'm Rob J Nathan Sings. People are probably going to do that now. So I'm there on YouTube. I'm there on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not much of a TikToker unless some social media power decides to use my song and make me go viral. Yeah. But I'm more of an Instagram, YouTube guy, and I'm enjoying it. Rob J Nathan Sings.
Same on Spotify.
I'm Rob J Nathan on Spotify just as an artist name because Sings would be a bit weird on Spotify. But as I say, Spotify is a different animal. I'm sure I can crack it one day. Yeah.
Mate, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I love what you do, man. I appreciate you.
I just love watching your little Instagram at morning, mate. It makes me smile. Do you know what I mean? That's what you want. It's like you're such an entertainer, mate. It's meant. It is meant. People just feel good from watching your stuff.
From not being active for 20 years to do this now at this stage of my life, when life's really got on top of me, it's everything to me.
Yeah. Follow your dreams, everybody. Follow your dreams. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Tim Marner, what, you're branded with the best. Tim Marner, what, you're branded with the best. Tim Marner, what, you're branded with the best. Tim Marner, what, you're branded with the best.